Slash chords can be stressful. I know I used to see them on a chart and be like, what's happening? I don't understand. And I actually get asked about them a lot. And I have to be honest with you, they don't have to be confusing, and they can add so much beauty to your playing. They can do amazing things. So let's talk about it. What's a slash chord? So, you might end up playing a song where you've got a C and then a G, and then all of a sudden you see G/B, and you go, what? So here's how you gotta think about it. The first chord you see in your little slash chord scenario is the main chord. That is G. We are playing a G chord. So I'm gonna play a G chord here. I was playing a G chord with the root note. Think of the slash, when you see that slash, interpret it as over top of. Don't see a slash, just think over top of. So if you've got your G chord, over top of, and then the chord beside it is B, or the letter beside it is B. So you're just gonna play B with your left hand. And it sounds beautiful. So, if you're playing a G chord and then you see G/B, it just feels like everything is lifting. So in this scenario, what's happened is the composer has decided to pick a different note from the chord that we're working with and highlight it. So in a G chord, you have a G, a B, and a D. And when you see a G/B, we're still playing a note from the chord, but we're adding it in this bass to create a sense of connection to that third tone. And the third tone, I don't know, I think of it as like a hopeful tone. It sounds like everything's just we're going on a wonderful adventure. So a G/B it stays in the chord family, but it adds a little something extra. Now, if you want to dive a little more deeply into how this works, you can think about how the G/B is instructions to play this chord as an inversion. It sounds confusing, but it isn't. So if you think of the G chord in root position, you have G, B, and D. Now, if you invert it, meaning you take the bottom note and put it on top, you get B, D, and G. And wow, look at this. The B is in the bass, and we have that sensation, that sound that we'd get from, right, G over B, G/B. It's just this inversion shape of the chord. So two ways to look at it. Now, you can get slash chords that have notes that don't belong to the chord, and they sound kind of like crunchy and tense, and that's okay. So you have to be kind of careful when you're playing your slash chords. So an example of this would be found in a song like Whiter Shade of Pale, where you get C, and then C/B, and then you get an A minor, and then an A minor/G. And by itself, if I were just to walk to a piano and go C/B, you'd be like, this is terrible. But what it does is it helps to carry the ear to where you're going. So you have to use this technique with caution, but it can sound really, really beautiful, right? Because this C, then C/B, carries us to the A minor. It's lovely. But this would be an example of, it wouldn't really work to think about this as an inverted chord, because it's not an obvious, root, third, or fifth tone of the chord. So all that to say, when you see a slash chord, first chord's the main chord, slash means over top of, and then the note that you see after that is what you play in your left hand. And this is a great concept to experiment and play around with anytime you play a chord, really. You can be playing a D major chord, and then think, well, what does it sound like with the third in the bass, right? Third tone of the chord. Beautiful. Okay, well, what does it sound like with the fifth tone in the bass? Sounds really cool. I personally like the third better. So, and you can even get creative beyond that and think of notes to put underneath that are not even in the chord, right? Like we talked about. So, maybe I want to try what it sounds like with E. Nope, don't like that. What else is in the D scale? Let's try A. Oh, I like that. I love how that B sounds there, right? So you can get creative. Mistakes always lead you to the things that sound good, right? So play around, have fun, comment below, maybe tell me what your favorite slash chord is, and we'll see you next time.